Hello everybody, today we're at SAC Anime and we are doing a March Madness board on which superhero movie is the greatest of all time. There's 8 movies and only one will be the winner. Each matchup has a different topic to debate. The topics are emotional impact, plot/storytelling, fights and animation, and movie as a whole. As the judge, I'm not being biased in the debates. Whoever has the strongest argument will win the matchup. And before the video starts, be sure to comment your pick on which film will win the superhero March Madness tournament. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content you see. Now, let's get to the video.
I'll give you Spider-Verse, I'll give you Infinity War, and the topic will be storytelling. So you guys have 2 minutes on the dot to prove which movie's better. 3, 2, 1, start. 2 minutes.
So I think Infinity War in terms of story, I believe that is really good. It's a really nice, well built up story from Iron Man to Infinity War, all the movies to where it got to now. Just seeing all the characters grow and develop. Also just the 2012 attack and the impact it had on everyone. And then from 2015 to the Sokovia Accords and then to Infinity War, because 2016 did split them apart, but they all did come back together to fight Thanos. They lost, really good. The hype for it was really hyped up. Ever since 2012, when we first saw Thanos, like bro, the hype was there. Everybody was ready. Posters, you know, trailers, fan-made trailers. Everyone was ready for Infinity War. Storytelling, I believe that is a really good story. Just even the beginning of how it started. Even Thanos said, "I knows what it's like to lose. The legs get turned to jelly."
Your turn.
All right, so I think you kind of have a disadvantage here because Into the Spider-Verse is animated, so you can tell so many different stories just in the background of the animations and the heart and love. You can see it in every frame, even the slow down frames when they're swinging or they're practicing. It's so great, glorious, but when I'm talking about the storytelling, it's great. You see Miles' progression from the beginning when he has no skill over his powers and has a lackey just teaching him how to go around, but eventually he gets comfortable and he gets his own suit and sprays it. It's the perfect coming of age story for all, black representation for the family, you know. Too bad Shamik Moore is fumbling right now. He needs to lock the fuck in so we can get our third movie. Overall, we get a bunch of great characters in the background too. We got Gwen, we got Peter B, and even though we didn't see him, the original Peter Parker who died at the beginning, you know, it's just great overall. You can't be beat.
So, out of 2 debates, Donnie J made a great point. The movie from start to finish, it was like a good encapsulation point. But the argument was more about the MCU in general rather than the movie itself storytelling. But he actually talked about the movie and how animation and how you could do so much with animated characters, Peter B. Parker, Miles, and his coming of age story. So when it comes to the argument, I'll give it to my guy right here.
Thank you.
So Spider-Verse moves up, Infinity War. Sorry. We have another debate. We have Avengers Endgame versus Logan. He has Logan. He has Endgame. You guys have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to debate which movie's better. For topic, I'll give you movie as a whole because each movie has stuff that are relatively equal. So I'm gonna give you guys movie as a whole. 2 minutes 50 seconds starts now.
I'm gonna say, as a movie as a whole for Logan, I mean, much respect to Endgame, but Disney has their own sort of formula how they like to make each movie. This is a superhero movie. Okay, this is a superhero movie, that's a superhero movie. This is a movie about a superhero. What I mean by that is the narrative. It's not like you're placing Logan in an experience that's more cinematic versus he's not in the cardboard cookie cut of MCU action. You know, he's not fighting a bunch of like nameless aliens, but like the writing and the action was just so key. Like that's cinema, this is a movie. That's what I would say.
Just to kind of hit on the things that you were kind of hitting on, right? You said that put him in his own movie apart from the MCU, which is obvious because it was before like kind of all of that. He's not even included in that, obviously. But in the cinematic aspect, I think that Endgame does bypass it just because it does bring in all the aspects of every previous solo Avenger movie and brings them all together with the CGI, with the cinematography, and those classic moments at the end, specifically with the snap and everything, you know what I mean? It bringing a whole universe together, still being able to build on that, you know?
I would say also on that note, I see some points, although I would say the ending of Logan, I think, was much better thematically and cinematically because, I mean, the main character, everybody went off their separate ways except for Tony, I mean, and a few others. But Logan, like, his sacrifice felt a lot more personal just because it was a more condensed story. This was over-flooded with so many characters. You know, you had fan service, you had everybody you wanted to see. This focused on him and X-23, which made it just a lot more personal.
If we're focusing on that aspect, the death was somewhat tragic and it did mean a lot, but at the same time, got kind of ruined with what we have now with the Deadpool and Wolverine thing because that got touched and that basically, you know, that death doesn't matter anymore, you know, because they could do anything with the multiverse, which is what Endgame was also kind of trying to bring apart, you know what I'm saying? It built aspect for that to even grow more. Because of this, we can be able to say, yeah, this is something, but also it led the path for the, like I said, Deadpool, Wolverine to make that not really relevant, but also still relevant.
That was a great argument on both ends. I do like the Endgame argument to where it was a conclusion of everything, but I really liked when you said Logan is a movie about a superhero, not a superhero movie. That was a really great line. But when it comes to the two debates, oh my gosh, who am I gonna give it to? Donnie J, who do you think?
When it comes to Avengers, Endgame, and Logan, what was the topic?
It was movie as a whole.
Movie as a whole? No,
Okay, we can't take into account. I will give the edge. Oh gosh, this is a hard one. You guys really had both wrong.
Give us another quick
All right,
snippet.
quick. Okay, we'll do a little death match. I'll give you guys storytelling.
So from a storytelling perspective, the Endgame had a flaw is that they use time travel to fix other problems. Comic books do that all the time, where they put their person in a weird issue, time travel, people die, but everything's okay. Logan, there was no going back. Okay, Logan lost his life. A lot of people lost their life. From the storytelling aspect, there were more higher stakes. This was a multiversal stake for sure, but there were higher stakes for Logan because he died. And there were a few people here, but the MCU is fine without him for now. But Logan,
25 seconds.
Yeah.
We weren't fine without it. We're bringing him back. In the storytelling aspect, yeah, he died. I feel like the story in Endgame was better only because it kind of, again, brought all the stories together, gave us a full picture for everybody, gave us a conclusion to the previous story that we started. So it wasn't just that one story, it concluded a second story that we started a while ago, pretty much. Well, we did get that conclusion in that movie, but back to that one. It basically just the fact that it brought everything together, basically was able to still tell its coherent story and fix some of the things that we didn't like from this one to a certain extent at the ending, you know what I mean?
Stop. So off of the speed run about storytelling, I will give this argument to Avengers Endgame. I will.
Come on,
go ahead. I will give it to Endgame.
This is Oscar-worthy cinema.
It was Oscar-worthy cinema.
It was.
Whoa!
No, it's a good game.
Hell yeah.
Endgame. Thank you for participating. I appreciate it. You guys both had great points. Thank you for participating. So we have the owner of Impound Comics here, and we have Anthony. So they're debating the emotional impact of Black Panther and Dark Knight. They have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to debate which movie has the better emotional impact.
Black Panther is probably, if not the only, definitely one of the most impactful movies that showed people of color only in prosperity.
That's true.
So it's kind of hard to go against something where we're not slaves, we're not weakened. They showed black people as the most powerful. You know what I mean? They couldn't be colonized even if you wanted to. So emotionally, it was something not just impactful in the film, but for the audience to see yourselves as not beaten down or taken advantage of.
Correct.
In full power.
How do you feel about Dark Knight?
So, I love this movie. I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
I just think like Bruce Wayne, he's just an amazing character. I like seeing him go through his character arcs, his pain, his trauma, and there's just him like beating the hell out of Joker at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think this is like a really good film overall. Like emotional impact, I think it's not the best thing to debate it for. I think like its action probably would have easily, stomped over this, but like emotional impact, like it impacted me more than Black Panther did, you know?
How?
Because I just relate to Bruce Wayne as a character like a lot. He's like the only like person in the Justice League without any like actual superpowers, but he still uses his humanity like positively, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't need like powers. He just has himself, money, and trauma, you know? And meanwhile, like he gets his power up from what? A drug? Like a herb? He doesn't need herbs. He's natty, you know? No enhancements. And I just really respect that, you know? Him getting his back broken too. Not sure if it's in this film, but
That's in the next.
yeah, you know, like that's Bruce Wayne. Still Bruce Wayne. This character. This man donates to charity. You know that, right? So I think he kind of did more for the black community by donating than
More
like,
for the black
these
community.
people,
You think this
you
movie
know?
did more for the black community?
I mean, like
or
this man, like
within the world?
within the world. You know what I'm saying? Because he donates, right? Because he's rich, right? But these people, they kind of like they're separatists, right? They have their closed borders, to live in like complete isolation and shit. Like come on, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's people in Harlem and shit. They're starving and stuff, but not like they're not donating. They're separatists, you know?
I'll have to stop it right there.
Yeah.
We hit the 2-minute 27 mark. Argumentative wise, I feel like Anthony argued more for why Bruce Wayne and the movie itself is better rather than the emotional impact. But when it comes to Trace, he talked about how it's uplifting for the black community and how it was the one movie where we saw ourselves more than just being oppressed. Like it was a celebration of a culture, something new in the MCU. So when it comes to emotional impact, I will give the argument to Trace in Pound Comics. So this moves right here. Next debate, when we find someone, would be Into Spider-Verse versus Black Panther.
This is my favorite superhero movie.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah,
Knight.
like, as a film, I
but
like
as
this one more, you know?
emotional impact,
Yeah.
that's a hard one.
Yeah, that is hard. That is hard. We're going straight to Into Spider-Verse versus Black Panther. For the category at random, we're doing movie as a whole. Which movie you got?
I got Black Panther. I gotta take Black Panther.
And which movie you got?
I got Into the Spider-Verse.
All right, you guys have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to debate for your respective movies.
All right, first off, peak animation and won hella awards, and it was so unconventional that it had so many small details that a lot of people don't notice. If you watch the sequel, 42 is a significant number, and they had 42 hella times in the movie. 1, 2.
Bro, that's the sequel.
They put it in this movie for the foreshadowing. 2, the emotional impact. Uncle Aaron, when that nigga got shot, you're telling me. And plus, what movie has a more iconic thing to come from it than canon events? You look at Travis Hunter, he's going through a canon event right now. He's going through
Let's stick to the movie. Let's stick to the movie.
I'm just saying, he's going through a canon event, and we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for Into the Spider-Verse. We wouldn't have such a perfect term for it.
Let's move to Black Panther. 1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay, it just kind of feels like you're disrespecting the memory of Chadwick Boseman by putting this over him.
Just play a dead man's part, like.
Fine. You know,
Stick to the movie.
the only person who did the soundtrack for this movie was Kendrick Lamar. You guys here to tell me he didn't do the movie justice? This movie was an absolute milestone for black people as a whole. You remember what was going on during this time? Black Lives Matter movement. You know, this pushed us forward. This united us as people.
Right.
This tore us apart. Look at Shamik Moore. This tore us apart. We can't have this. Look at all the beautiful black people in this movie. Look at how they showed us in a great light, uniting against people, fighting, winning. This was huge. This was massive, and wasn't even the first movie that Black Panther was in, but was the best one. This broke box office records for black people in Disney.
Spitting. Come on now.
You can't even just talk about the soundtrack though. Like Into the Spider-Verse didn't have a soundtrack. It had XXX Tentacion. I'm Not Scared of the Dark, Lil Wayne. What's Up Danger? Yes, Kendrick Lamar and stuff. Yes, he represents California, but the best songs on there is All the Stars with SZA and Paramedic with SOB, RBE, and they're not even a group anymore.
Oh my gosh. They was at the time though.
At the time, but not anymore. So if it was really uniting, they would have stayed a rap group.
But that goes beyond the Black Panther movie though.
I'm just saying, if it was really as uniting as it was, like, yes, we have the tragedy of the when it came out,
2018.
2018. So yeah, we had police brutality and all that, and it was a great movie for it. But making Spider-Man black, you just took a white man's character and made it into a black man's character is revolutionary.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something way different. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh.
You know that colonization goes in reverse.
It's nobody mind control. I don't want to hear it.
Yo. Just went 45 seconds over.
Nobody mind control.
So, for this debate, I will definitely say it went above and overboard when it comes to the movies itself, bringing in real world things into it. But argumentative wise, I will give it. Ooh, what we thinking? What do you think? What do you think?
Don't ask me, bro. I
I think Black Panther won that argument. I do think Black Panther won that argument.
The impact it had on the MCU, bro.
The impact it had on MCU and like the people itself, feel what I'm saying? Like black people in general. When you said it showed us in like a good light, feel what I'm saying?
It didn't show us.
It did. But you went over that. You brought up Travis Hunter, my dog.
I brought up Travis Hunter for a canon event.
But the canon events didn't get explored into Across though.
You start with the foundation.
I know, but it
was on sand.
But it wasn't implemented. It wasn't implemented.
You can't build a house on sand. You need to build a house on concrete, and this is some of the best, finest concrete. It's damn near diamonds. Imagine building your house on a foundation of diamonds.
I know, but I just feel like his argument was stronger for why the movie is better.
That's valid.
As a whole.
That's valid.
Black Panther moves up. Black Panther's in the finals.
That would hurt me because I like Spider-Verse more.
Your argument was better. You should have had a Mickey argument then. For this debate, we have The Incredibles. We have The Incredibles and Man of Steel. He will be defending The Incredibles. He'll be defending Man of Steel. And the topic is emotional impact. Timer for 2 minutes and 15 seconds starts now.
Well, first of all, I think one of the hugest topics about Man of Steel is the debate of him trying to figure out who he is meant to be. They put a lot of emotional state on his just origin in general, especially with his father dying.
Yeah, of course.
Not exactly most in comics, but it's definitely a huge take. He also has to choose between if he's gonna like save Earth or his people, which is an easy choice for him if we go by his heart. But he also has to kill Zod. He's not supposed to do that, but he's already going to kill a family. Yeah. He has to make a decision quick.
Make a decision.
When he does it too, it's just like, no!
Yeah, that scream at the end too.
I still think that Incredibles has a bigger emotional impact because one, we start off the movie with Mr. Incredible being a superhero, saying like he would like to retire or not. Once he actually does, he genuinely does not feel the same way anymore. So he starts going off on like his own missions and escapades, and once he realizes that his family was put in danger, he realized that it was not that exactly worth it going back to being the superhero life. And as soon as he even thought that his family was dead, he completely had given up on being superhero, and until he found out they were alive. He immediately reunited with them, and even still tried to keep them out of harm's way by not wanting them involved in the final battle at all against Syndrome, feeling that they may be at risk of losing their life.
Any closing statements?
You know what? Honestly, yeah, I really like the topic about like family too.
Yeah.
Especially with Incredible. That takes the cake of family.
Yeah.
Man of Steel, when it comes to family, not the biggest cake, but it does put some family in that space because it's like you also have to talk about like his real family is his people.
Exactly.
But if you go by his actual real family, it is the people of Earth.
Exactly.
But he has to choose between that. It's like so emotional because he has to think about sacrifices now.
Exactly.
Because they're both his family.
It's
like,
just
picking one or the other. And obviously he's going to choose Earth because it's like saving people. But like maybe he could have found a way. It's just Zod is just so pushy and
exactly. Zod is just very makes up his mind.
Yeah.
He won't change it. When it comes to emotional impact, I think The Incredibles took the cake for that one. For emotion, what do you think, Donnie J? What do you think? You listening the whole time. What do we think?
Man of Steel,
you think Man of Steel got that?
No, it's Man of Steel, bro.
What made his argument stronger for Man of Steel?
Well, I think for Man of Steel, right? Because we see like Superman.
What he said though.
What he said?
Not what you think. What he said.
Exactly.
I feel like you had great points when it came to family, but I feel like the way he summarized the plot about how Mr. Incredible.
Family is a huge
Exactly.
When it comes to us people.
Exactly. So, I think for emotional impact,
yeah,
The Incredibles took the cake over Man of Steel. For semifinals, we have Avengers Endgame versus The Incredibles. Black Cat has The Incredibles. Marco, he has Endgame. So we're gonna do 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the topic is movie as a whole. Timer starts now.
So I am a bit biased with The Incredibles because it's been a big part of my family for forever. My first Halloween, I was dressed as Jack, and my dad was dressed as Mr. Incredible. And I think that it's just a good movie overall. It revolutionized a lot of stuff for animation, such as hair animation was not the way that it was until they animated Violet's hair. It's a really good and wholesome story overall. You don't have to know the superheroes of the story beforehand to actually enjoy this movie. It's a movie that you can enjoy on its own, and it's directed by Brad Bird, and Brad Bird is able to really tackle very heavy subjects that happen in the movie. It's a very interesting concept to think of why superheroes are illegal or what happens with family dynamics and how these characters grow as people and how they are as people in general. You can just enjoy it on its own without having to watch 15 other movies for you to actually have fun with it, which I think is a bit of an issue with the Marvel movies. And I'm saying this as someone who loves Marvel. I mean, all these characters have also been directed by a lot of other people before. This one just has one who knows what he's doing with these characters and knows how to write them, and that's what makes The Incredibles just such a good overall movie, in my opinion. So yeah.
She already cooked me. Okay. So while I do agree Incredibles is a great, amazing family movie, they knew exactly what they were doing, but the grand scale of Endgame is just unmatched. What other movie has reached the scale of this movie? And I don't think any movie will ever reach the scale of this movie ever again. Yes, you have to watch 15 plus movies to really get it, but the reward at the end is literally just beautiful. Yes, I do have some gripes with the plot points, but that final battle scene, I've watched that at least 15 times, and I never get sick of it. I get chills every single time. Damn, I don't really got anything else to say about it.
Any final statements, final conclusions for why Endgame is better than The Incredibles as a whole?
No, I think she cooked me, to be honest.
We're already admitting defeat. I feel like The Incredibles argument was stronger than the Endgame. Again, we're being unbiased, just arguments alone. Movie as a whole, I think she encapsulated what The Incredibles was, what it meant to her, what it meant as a movie. I feel like what really stuck out was her point that you didn't have to watch a lot of movies to understand it and still have a true connection to it, while still acknowledging the MCU and how this was a conclusion.
I have one more thing to add.
Go ahead.
Something else about The Incredibles is that it's actually just an homage to 1960s superheroes in general and an homage to the superhero genre. I think that's what makes The Incredibles really great. It acknowledges superheroes. It's a whole nother medium in a way, and it really pays homage to it in a way that I really enjoy. I think that more modern MCU movies, they kind of forget what makes these superheroes themselves at the end of the day. So I think there's a lot of components, but even placing it in the 1960s, it has the feeling of traditional classic superheroes that I think is a really, really good thing that they did in terms of art direction.
Everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you guys. So now for the finals, we have The Incredibles versus Black Panther. We have Joe right here. He's debating that Incredibles is better than Black Panther. And we have Eugene on the side of Black Panther.
All right, so the reason why I think Incredibles is more edgier and better than Black Panther, I mean, it's more or less just Disney versus Disney, but this is before Disney became shitty as it is now. Sorry, I mean, I know I'm bashing on Disney, but back in the day, it was just better. That, and it's got more of an edge because a lot more fucking people die. A lot more people die in this show, and they're not afraid to show it. Mind you, this is back when fucking Disney, they were edgy, back when they had something to prove. There's people actually trying to murder children in this show. Whereas, Black Panther, it's, they're trying to play it safe. This is, they weren't trying to play it safe here. They had some decent fucking jokes in here, and it's more memeable. I mean, there's way more memes in this show than there are of Black Panther. But as far as, which is better, I'm a Pixar nut. I'm not as crazy as other people, but I think it's got a lot more class, I think. And there's a lot more variety in superpowers, whereas they're mostly relying on technology. I'm a superhero purist, and I don't know, something about it. That, and it's got Samuel L. Jackson, bro. It's got Sam Jackson, bro. It's just iconic. Who's to say, Black Panther won't become iconic in the next 10, 15, 20 years? Who knows? But that's the hill I'm gonna die on, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So about Black Panther as a whole, what this movie did for the Black community is insane. I agree. It's crazy. How it's not just about we started as slaves and stuff like that. There's Black people that's they're already developed. It's not like a developing country. They're already developed with the vibranium and keeping it. For example, T'Challa's father at the time before he died, trying to keep the vibranium to his country, so vibranium doesn't end up in the wrong people's hands. Killmonger, who came from, Oakland, this dad, T'Challa's uncle, was cast away from his brother because the fact that he wanted to use vibranium to help the people out in those, in poverty areas or areas like with welfare and stuff like that. The ancestral plane, he talked to his dad and everything. I just think it's a beautiful scene. Yeah, I think it's dope. And how, like I said, Killmonger, he wanted to take over Wakanda so he can be able to just distribute vibranium, especially to those people in need. They're already developed, but they're still dealing with issues like welfare, struggling to survive to get their next meal. Because I don't blame T'Challa either. He just wanted vibranium to not be in the wrong hands. For example, like Claw, like that guy, he was already black market. He's the main reason why Ultron people's already overpowered because of vibranium. As an overall movie, it's really emotional, and the soundtrack is beautiful. Kendrick Lamar, beautiful soundtrack.
I wasn't thinking about the soundtrack.
Like and they got Michael B. Jordan as playing as villain, and it also helped us lead to pretty much Infinity War and Endgame.
He really closed it out at the end. He really closed it out at the end.
I didn't think about.
I kind of blanked out for a minute.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
yeah.
Now for me, I'm a huge soundtrack guy.
Yeah.
So honestly, he might have. I'm like now.
Now he got you thinking. But when it comes to Incredibles 1 and Black Panther 1, I think I will give the argument to Eugene. I think at the end of his argument, he really like stuck it through when he talked about the music, Killmonger, what it did for the black community, and what it represents for our people. So the best superhero movie goes to Black Panther 1.
Oh yeah.
No, you got last man with the soundtrack, bro.
But yeah, this is the final board. There we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Appreciate the participants. Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot. If you guys like the content you see, make sure you like, comment, share, and sub to the channel. Y'all stay safe and have a good day. Bro, nobody's trying to box with Incredibles and Man of Steel. Huh?
Which one did more for the black community? Into the Spider-Verse or this one? That would be a good debate.
Black Panther for sure. Nah.
It's gonna be hard because it's not just about him to him. But if it was just solely soundtrack wise, if which of these had the better soundtrack? Obviously Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Yeah, for sure.
No one remembers Man of Steel.
Bro, Man of Steel is tough, bro.
I remember. But
and the music also enhanced the movie. It didn't just it wasn't just there in the background. It enhanced the emotion, the stakes, and everything as well.
But
most definitely.
If I'm being honest, I think Part 2, Wakanda Forever, had a better sound.
Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying.
Con la Brisa is still
my gosh. Alone by Burna Boy while Shuri makes the heart-shaped herb. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? It's about like
It's like, nah,
a nation of excellence.
I was like,
Yeah,
I knew
it's
I lost, bro. That's how.
He was like, look, I'm gonna say it all the time. He's like, God damn.
Nah, bro,
Because I even did a video, because they were like, they were saying who in DC could have this impact, and I was like, nobody in DC has Wakanda.
That's why I was saying the music in Wakanda Forever is so good, but people don't want to hear Wakanda Forever takes because they just think it's bad.
It's not just him. It's like you see the whole empowerment and enrichment of a culture.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
We saw the Incredibles. I could talk about how they literally got a team of misfits that literally hated each other and still came out with some of the best products. Their whole team was some of the people, was like a bunch of animators, storytellers, storyboarders that literally everybody hated and would not work with.
Nothing can compare for what Black Panther did.
not even just the movie, right?
Exactly.
Outside
I was gonna
the
say,
real world,
the music.
Black people came to the theater to be nerds. A lot of them for the first time ever.
Exactly.
Like proud.
First time
to
they
be
were
like
comfortable.
Yeah.
First time they were comfortable. In this movie, the music, the action, the acting, everything
it was
about
just
it was
too
just
much culture in
it.
was too
Exactly.
much. The ending, Wakanda Forever.
It's so emotional.
It's like
Even the end credit scene where Shuri realizes that she has a son, or that Nakia and T'Challa had a son, and he was hiding that weight. And it really goes to show that like T'Challa really only had 6 months to a year with his newborn until he passed on. Like it's just like everything about this movie, even Queen Ramonda's death, saving an outsider, saving Riri Williams. Exactly.
And I'm surprised they didn't fucking kill his ass after that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he killed their queen.
Wakanda Forever is a great film when you really think about it, and like the undertones when it talks about emotion, healing when it comes to the death process and how people heal and recover for that. Because it wasn't just about T'Challa as a character, it was also Chadwick as well. And the music just elevates that. The storytelling, the way it was shot, oh my god. Wakanda Forever not even on the board when we're talking about it. It's such a great film. Forever, but even Wakanda Forever, everybody dressed up in white to opening night to celebrate Chadwick.
And his passing His passing even made it even a bigger impact.
Exactly.
Man, unfortunate. You get to see your king for the first time and then he passes.
It passes right off the bat. But yeah, in DC,
I didn't add it, but I wouldn't even have started Impact Comics if it wasn't for that movie.
Exactly.
So that's why it's like, man.
Yeah, they got a bunch of misfits, and it came with the Incredibles.
That is true.
That's revolutionary.
Pixar's most iconic. My opinion.
Even when you see his dad passed away, and he had to deal with everything he learned, he started to feel like it was wrong.
Gosh, in Sexual Pain was like, you are wrong. All of you are. Just leaving Killmonger like
to bring everybody some stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like everything about this film, I just love it a lot.